In your years with him, what have you seen from him, his offensive abilities?
I think DeMar, from last year to this year, has really slowed things down. He's accepting double teams. He's willing to pass out of double teams. It's funny because before last night's game, we talked about passing out of double teams, anticipating a double team, and he said to me, you know, I need to get more assists. And so I don't know how many he ended up with last night, seven assists, right? And so he's thinking about it. I think he's watching more film. He's seeing what the defense is trying to take away from him, and he's countering it. And he's just, he's growing. He's taking steps as a player, and it's fun to watch his progression getting better.
He told us he'd like to get the basket as a fadeaway from 15 feet with 3 guys on him.
Which That'd be appropriate, wouldn't it? That's how many of his points were scored.
It'd be like the anti-analytical basket of all time. But did coaches appreciate the ability of players to have to do that, to go against the grain?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, he defies the analytics when you're talking about like non-paint twos, where you want to get your points from. A lot of times he's getting them in areas where, today's NBA says it's not a great place to score, but he's so efficient from those areas, and he's so efficient getting himself to the free throw line and scoring from the free throw line. But I think where we really appreciate it is end of game, when you could give the ball to a player like DeMar DeRozan and say, we're going to put the ball in your hands the last 15, 20 seconds of the game, go get us a quality shot. Get something up, whether we're down 1 or the score is tied. You know that you could get a quality shot and a good shot, and you're going to get a shot off. So I think we appreciate that about him.
When did you first see that comfort zone where he felt comfortable doing that? Because DeMar hasn't always been that guy that you could, like late in the game, kind of give the ball to. But lately he has been. Do you remember when?
Well, I think something clicked after the Olympics. I think getting around all those good players, being in that group, being considered one of the top 15 in the NBA, I think something transpired over the Olympics that he came back feeling a little bit more, a little more confident about his game, his overall game.
He just talked about spending time with Kevin, and you spent all those years with Kevin. Is there a possibility that Kevin Durant's underappreciated?
By who?
By fans? By
fans?
Around the game?
I don't know about underappreciated, but, I've watched over the course of the last 24 to 36 hours, I've watched a lot of their games preparing for Golden State, and the thing I see from Kevin Durant is he's attacking so much more on the open floor now. He's got the ball in his hands off a rebound, and he's just pushing it. He's flying up the floor, and right when you think that kind of his game has peaked, all of a sudden he shows you another dimension that he's willing to do every single time down the floor. Not only is he attacking, but he's finding players and he's making great passes. And I think when you play a team against Golden State, those passes show themselves so much more because he has so many good shooters around him. He's finding a lot of players.
He might not have had that possibility in Oklahoma City to get the ball off a rebound, dribble it by himself because he had the other guy next to him.
Yeah, but he's always been a great defensive rebounder. So he's had the ball coming off the rim, and he's had the ability and I think the opportunity to be able to push it. But I think he's just making so much. He's playing more aggressively. And he's obviously bigger, stronger. Every year you get a little bit stronger. He came into the league as a 3. He's going to end up leaving the league as a 4. That's kind of maybe his progression.
What about defensively? I mean, he's doing a great job shot blocking in Golden State. He's doing a great job being a presence in the paint defensively. Is that something that he's just kind of grown into more in that system?
Talking about DeMar?
Sorry, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, yeah. Yeah, I think so, and I think a lot of that has come with his ability to guard multiple positions. When he was a true 3 a few years back, maybe a little bit more undersized, not as big, it was hard for him to guard 4s and big 5s. I think now what I see, and especially from that team, is they play 5 smalls basically, with KD as a 4, Draymond Green as a 5, and they switch everything. So he's going to get stuck guarding, Valanciunas on certain nights, or big guys like a Marc Gasol, and he's taken the opportunity and accepted it, and I think that kind of growing and getting bigger helps him.
How hard is it to play a team that switches everything?
It's difficult. Luckily for us, we work on that. We see it sometimes. We have counters to it, but switching really it can stall your offense sometimes. It doesn't always mean that you have a great mismatch somewhere. Sometimes teams switch and you still can't find your mismatch. So it's something you have to know it's coming, hopefully, and then prepare for on off days and shoot arounds, and just make sure you have a plan once a team does switch, how you're going to attack it.